What's
I'm gonna go
up,
back.
y'all? So we come here, and I brought my friend today, and we're gonna talk about making money mistakes and how to overcome them. I think that's something that a lot of us could stand to talk about. A lot of us could stand to just have a real conversation about. So I know you all on here can't see, so let me see if I can change it where you all can see the screen and you can see the conversation. But that's something that I feel like we definitely need to talk about way more than we do. Let me see. Can I turn my phone around? How do I turn my phone around? How y'all turn the phone around, y'all? Nope, that's
Um,
not it. How do I turn the camera around? Series, guest, host, flip camera. Bam. So if I turn it there, you all can see that we're both talking. So you can see us. Um, and then I'll switch it. I'm gonna leave it right here. But now I know what to do to flip it around. Doop. Bam. Okay. We locked and loaded. So we want to talk a lot about overcoming money mistakes because I feel like this is something that all of us have dealt with. If you talk to somebody who say that they haven't made any money mistakes, chances are they are lying because it is impossible to not make any money mistakes. And of course, it sounds cliche, but truthfully, only a fool knows everything. So you're going to make mistakes, even if you have somebody there to tell you how the road goes and what the road looks like. Your road is going to look different than theirs. So, you know, it
yep.
is what it is. But either way, we're going to talk about it. From About That Wallet, and we're talking about making money mistakes, overcoming money mistakes, and what that looks like. So we're gonna kick it off. What's a money mistake that you feel like you've made?
One of my money mistakes was not applying for scholarships going to school,
Mm,
college. I mean, that one right there, the reason why
that's a
uh,
good one.
mistakes only seen from 2020, right?
Hmm.
2020 vision, that's the only reason why you can see a mistake. You can say that it was a mistake, but at the time you thinking like, hey, you were told to go to school all day. You go to school. But then you find out other people getting college and degrees and for free from other countries, and yet you're a citizen in the US and don't know about any of the scholarships that are out there. You don't know about the book money. You don't know what the heck is going on, but yet everybody else from outside the country can figure this out. Why can't you? Why can't us? And that's one of the reasons why I felt is that this was one of my money mistakes because I'm still paying for this thing.
Man, man. And the way that things are going, depending on what happened, like they talking about trying to get rid of all the income driven repayment plans, trying to get rid of any type of loan forgiveness. Like depending on what happened in the next 5 years, it could get really ugly.
Oh yeah.
I applied for scholarships, but I don't feel like I had enough information. Like I wasn't as educated about scholarships as I should be when it came to going to college. I didn't know about like, later on, like when my daughter was going to college, I found out it's a numbers game. Like you got to apply, you need to be applying to this many scholarships every day to increase your chances of actually getting a scholarship. And I just didn't know that. So I was, being the high school person that I was applying for scholarships all lackadaisically. I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't pressuring myself. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to apply for some scholarships. I wasn't on it. Like I wasn't as hard as I probably should have been because I didn't know and I was unaware. And then I was an untraditional student too. So um, I feel like that possibly would have opened me up for more scholarships because of my situation. But you live and you learn. You live
Yeah,
and you
and that's how we can now call it a mistake or
yes,
money mistake.
mistake, mishap, misstep, whatever you want to call it. I feel like we should normalize them, and we shouldn't. I don't know how, we always get into these conversations and like, because men handle things different than women. For women, a lot of times we beat ourselves up, we criticize ourselves, we'll put ourselves down because we feel like, oh, I shouldn't have did this, or oh, we'll be embarrassed or ashamed about the money mistake that we made, and it'll be like something that'll really weigh heavy on our chest that we did that, and we'll always think about it. And then sometimes subconsciously we'll have problems sleeping, just different things, because it'll be weighing on us, especially if we have somebody that's dependent upon us. Like if you have a child or a family, maybe you take care of a parent or something, and you make some type of money mistake, sometimes you'll beat yourself up even more. That's what I find happens. So I feel like I want us to normalize them so that we are just better understanding and forgiving of ourselves when it comes to us making money mistakes.
Yeah. So overcoming a money mistake is one thing, first to recognize it, and then two, realize that you can't beat yourself up from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it's called a mistake. It's one of the things that we tend to hurt ourselves a lot and feel bad that, oh man, I really wish I could have did this, or I wish somebody had told me about this sooner. Oh man, what am I going to do? And then you don't do anything. Like either A, you can go educate yourself, listen to podcasts like this, listen to live shows, or even do your own research and share that information with somebody who are going through those particular things that you kind of wish you would have known before. So these are the things that I really wish we could do more of, is to bring in the notion that you're alive, you're breathing, you have that opportunity to change and actually educate yourself. This is a choice that you decide to make or not make, but this is something that you need to do to continue on to really spread the wealth of knowledge when it comes to the things that you've gained and obtained because you made those mistakes.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I was trying to press to bring myself back. So what I want to say is, for somebody like, okay, I've made this money mistake, or I messed up, or I fell behind, or whatever the case may be, because a lot of times people allow things like this to derail them on their journey. What do you think is the first step? You share yours and I'll share mine. What I typically tell my students is their first step, like how to overcome it.
So the first step to overcome it is, one, to write down what is the mistake. You have to first acknowledge it, because if you don't acknowledge it and give it a name or give it a season or give it something of its own entity to realize that it's not you, I say that's the first step. The second step to go beyond that is to then figure out, well, what were the possibilities? What did you have in your repertoire, in your toolbox, or in your knowledge or your money toolbox at that time to actually overcome that particular issue? Why did you choose that issue? So you acknowledge it, you're trying to figure out your why. And now that you understand those two, I'll say the next thing would be is to then start taking steps forward, either A, to put yourself, to not have yourself in that predicament again. And, I'll say the bonus side of it is to actually start teaching it to somebody else. Because if you can just take the knowledge, take advantage of it if you want to, that's fine. You can do that. But there's others like you and I who are taking advantage of the situation and actually spreading the knowledge, and so that people don't make those same mistakes.
Okay, so
I know I kind of went beyond your one step. But
that's fine. That's fine. More information to me is always good. I think that those were great steps, and it's a good way to start yourself on that journey to be able to overcome them. One of the things, I think acknowledging it is a good step, because a lot of times the first step they take is avoiding it. So I think acknowledging it is very important. I typically tell them to give themselves grace. So give themselves grace and be patient with themselves, and start to humanize themselves, because I know we in the world of AI, but we still humans. We not AI. So we're not going to be able to operate in perfection. Practice only makes progress, because nobody's perfect. So that's one of the things I tell them to give themselves some grace. The second thing I tell them to do, well, I guess technically the third thing is going to be to practice gratitude. So, yes, you made a mistake. Yes, you had, these problems that you had to deal with, or that setback, or whatever that happened. But let's stop and think about what you've accomplished up to this point. Let's not focus on the thing that you weren't able to do or the mistake that you made. Let's focus on what you got right before that. What have you done? Where were you a year ago? Where were you 5 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago? Like, you've made progress since that point. Let's talk about that, and talk to yourself. If you have to create a win jar, which basically is a jar that you keep small pieces of paper, and when something good or you accomplish one of your goals or something, you put it down in this paper. So having a win jar is crucial in this moment, because this is a perfect opportunity to go in that win jar and just look through all the things that you've accomplished and did. Like, yeah, I made a mistake, but I've done some great things, and sometimes that can help and remind them and kind of bring them back. Like, yeah, I made a mistake, but I've been doing some, like, let me keep going so I can continue to make this type of progress. So typically those are the first steps that I like to tell my students, whatever, to take, because it starts to work on that mental part of the process. It starts to work on that part that's causing them to avoid it in the first place. Like, let's actually lean into it. Let's lean into it instead of avoiding it,
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa, she has a really great how'd you say YouTube channel that talks about stocks.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've seen her on your thing before. Money
Yeah.
mistakes. I should have invested more when I was younger and strive to stay out of credit. Baby, amen.
Right. That's what I said. That's a good one.
Amen. Hallelujah. Can she get some horns?
Right, hold on, I
Something?
got
Give
you.
her something.
I give her some horns. I was playing with my music earlier. There you go.
Because that's facts. I so wish I would have invested more when I was younger. I wish I would have known about investing. I wish I would have not gotten into credit card debt at all. I wish I would have stayed away from them credit cards.
I mean, if that was the case, I would have never had this show.
Huh?
I would have never had this show if I wasn't in credit card debt.
I probably still would have had it, because once my friends and family start to realize that I, were learning about money and I was making headway with things with my finances, they all start to come to me to ask questions. Like, my best friend to this day, he calls me, when he calls me, he jokes and he's like, my most trusted financial advisor.
Right.
Like, he says it in like a Nigerian accent, because we grew up around a lot of Nigerians, so we can kind of imitate the accent. Right. So that's what he calls me when he calls my phone, like, to this day, because they started to see me as a resource, and that's what really let me know, like, oh wow, people need this information. Like, it's not just me, because I thought it was just me on the island.
Same.
And nobody else was dealing with this. This was just little old me. The rest of the world is doing fabulous with their finances.
Exactly.
Here I am over here in the corner making all the mistakes, fumbling and trumbling and hitting my head. So once I started to see that, I probably still would have, because that's when I realized it was something that was needed by others.
Yeah, telling you, like, that feedback from somebody else to feel like you're not alone is so magical.
Clutch. It's clutch.
Yeah, because it's like, man,
they cut the big man.
That's how I met you guys.
Ready to buy a house. I'm like, yeah. How did you do it? What did you have to do? What did you do? Like, just start coming me with questions. I'm like, oh, And I'm in my head like, oh, he don't know how to do this either.
Right.
Like, I've been there. Now, lo and behold, we all went to high school together. Like my best friend, we went to high school together. So I've known this man for a long time. I
Right.
know he don't know it. Like,
Right.
I don't know what it is. In my head at that time, it just wasn't occurring to me.
And I think that's one of the things is like we always assume that everybody's doing okay.
We always assume that everybody else is doing good. We always
Mhm.
assume that they're doing great. We're the only ones not doing good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, because I didn't tell anybody I was in debt until
I
after I
didn't
got
either.
out of debt.
I lost my whole house. I lost my whole house and didn't tell people. And here goes the thing. I lost a friend when I was losing my house because I didn't come out and tell them. And she
How they gonna be upset?
okay, I guess we
I'm
got
sorry,
to
like,
tell story time. I guess we got to tell story time.
the story. Just
So at the time that I lost my house, I was working at the Postal Service, and it was 3 of us. It was me, I'm not gonna say no names, but 2 other females. We're gonna say J and G.
okay.
Okay. And so and G still follows me on social media, and we talk kind of sometimes to this day. J gone. J been gone since this point when I was dealing with this. Because so I got injured. So I bought my house. I think my closing date was like October 28th, 2010. Well, you don't pay that first mortgage payment. So I didn't have to pay a mortgage in November, but I had to pay one in December 1st. So I paid my mortgage December 1st. December 4th, I slip on ice outside and mess up my ankle.
Oh no.
So literally 4 days after I make my first mortgage payment, I slip on ice and hurt myself. And you probably heard about this when you did what's the name's podcast edit.
Yeah, I did hear about it.
So did that, and then I had to work on my bad ankle for a while. Because I couldn't afford to just take off. I couldn't afford to just okay, because workers can't take a while.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. It's not like, the next check, workers' comp is just going to be activated and I'm going to get paid. So I have to wait and go through this process. And then we talking about they don't want me to take off in the first place. So they're not going to process it fast. They're not sending this paperwork off fast. That's another thing that took me so long to actually file, because they were discouraging me from filing.
How are they going to discourage you from filing?
So I didn't file for workers' comp until like December 28th. Like the end of the month, because I wanted to make it through Christmas, get my daughter her Christmas presents, blah 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 blah. But at that point, it was like, okay, this is too much. I can't take it. So of course, pay my January mortgage. By February, now this is my 3rd mortgage payment. I don't have it. Literally by my 3rd mortgage payment, I'm injured because I'm off work now because my ankle is messed up.
Right.
I don't just. Dealing with bills being late, you get late notice, all this. So I pulled back from the people that I talked to the most. I pulled back from them and I started isolating myself. And so to make a longer story short, what ended up happening is she kind of came to me and was basically saying like, oh, you're going to have to change. If you don't change, then we ain't going to be able to be friends no more. You got to basically you got to change.
What?
Because she was saying like, you pulling it back, you can't do that, blah 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 blah. Again, she doesn't know what's going on in the back end. Like, she know that I'm injured, she know that I got off work, but she has no idea like this is the beginning of me starting to lose my house, and I know it.
Right.
She don't know that part, because you don't know people's finances unless they tell you. And so she was mad because I was pulling away, because I wasn't as active, because I wasn't participating like I used to. We used to be on the phone every day. We work outside.
Right.
We'll be on the phone. And now all of a sudden, they're not hearing from me. So she feel like, okay, what's wrong? And that was her way to deal with it, to tell me that, oh, well, you're going to have to change who you are or we ain't going to be able to be friends. Okay, bye.
Right.
Because one thing I ain't never had a problem with is, and not to say it like I'm bragging or anything like that, but I'm not sure what you want me to do, because right now I got bigger fish to fry, bro. I don't have time to even try to, if you want that friend to chase you, I don't have time or the energy to chase you right now, because I have real things going on in my life. So if that's the decision, or I got to change, if I'm not going to change, Well, obviously, I can't change the situation I'm going in, so deuces. And
Right.
literally, that's how it went. She said that, and I said, oh, okay, bye. It wasn't that simple, like in one sentence, but that's essentially what happened. And to this day, we ain't talked. To this day. And this happened, that was 2010, 14 years ago.
Wow.
She told me, you're going to have to change. If you don't change, we can't be friends. I said, oh, okay. Say less.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's one of the things that, from a life lesson perspective, I mean, we all about money perspective on your show, right? So it's like, who knows
You
what
see
that
it
person
right
could
here.
do?
You see it at the top.
I see it,
Perspectives.
right.
That's why I named it perspectives, because at the end of the day, everything is going to be based on your perspective, on how you see it, which is going to be based on your experiences, your thoughts, your upbringing, let's keep it real, your biases.
And on top of that, like, to go back to what you were saying before, it's like, why are you changing for this person on their time? And it seems like they are trying to make sure that you are the person you were in the past, and like, you're a brand new person, like,
Right.
do you?
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it might have been her way that she thought she was helping me. She might have thought that was her way of trying to help me. We were young at the time. I don't even think was I 30 yet? No, I couldn't have been 30. I wasn't 30 yet. I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? So she could have thought, like, we were young, so she could have thought that was the way to get me to pop out of it.
Right.
Whatever was wrong with me. I don't know. I don't know what she thought was going to happen.
Well, she didn't get what she wanted, so deuces.
But yeah, I'm going to say that was definitely one of my money mistakes. I'm not reaching out to other people and letting people know what was going on with me, or talking to people who were in my circle, because possibly they could have helped. Maybe they do a program or something that would have helped me. It would have possibly relieved some of the weight and stress off of me to have other people to talk to about, and instead of having to deal with it on myself while I'm in rehab for injury, which I had a boot, I had a cast, I had physical therapy. Then I switched doctors. I had a boot, I had a cast. Then I had surgery, because at first I was seeing a podiatrist, and then I ended up seeing the orthopedic surgeon. And that's when I discovered that I need to have surgery. And then after surgery, I had physical therapy again, then work conditioning. Since I ain't got time to be, and I still got all this stuff going on in the background while I can't walk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, sis, right. I ain't got time for you right now.
Nobody ain't got time for that. Yeah, too much going on.
Yeah, I had too much going on. And at the time, like I said, I'm young. So 2010, I was like 26. I was like 26, because I started working there when I was 23, and I started there in 2007. So yeah, I was 26. 26, 27. I definitely didn't know much of what I know now.
But also, it's not a mistake, though, because it seemed like it's something that you really need to do.
What wasn't a mistake?
Letting that person go.
Well, no, I didn't say that letting her go was a mistake. That isn't what I said.
Right.
I said reaching out to my circle. That could have been my mom. The other friend. Like, that could have been other people. Not losing her.
It's time for bed.
Here she goes. I'm not saying
get your bed.
It's Saturday.
Right.
It's not a school night. But I'm talking about, like, just being more open about the problems I was having while I was dealing with that. Not necessarily saying like losing her. That's not the regret. I don't have a regret about that. My regret is not being open to tell people what was going on, because it would have made the situation a lot better. Even with going through the foreclosure and going through that, I navigated all of that by myself. So same thing, you know what I mean? I would have had help, assistance, even somebody to vent about through the process would have been beneficial. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
my mental health.
Yeah. Because, I mean, how do we all deal with the mental health side of things?
It depends on the person. I feel like some people deal with it differently. Some people they isolate themselves, like I used to do. I would isolate myself, and I typically wouldn't talk to anybody if I was going through something stressful or something, or I made a huge mistake. And a lot of it would have to do with shame. Like I would be ashamed because I've always been looked at as the one who got everything together. It's always, oh, Z don't play. Z got this going on. Z got it together. She got this. Like I'm always looked at as the one having it together. So it kind of used to put a pressure on me. You know what I mean? So when it comes to me admitting that I made a mistake or admitting that I messed up, it was kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
that don't go with my character. What they gonna say? They gonna talk about me, or they gonna look at me different, or they, you know what I mean? That's the kind of thought process I went through.
So then that created like a trauma for you and everything? Like now you look back
Um,
at it?
I imagine it did, but it's something that I worked through as I got older. So like now if I have something going on or I have something I'll tell people now, and I talk about it with my friend and things like that. Whereas to before, I would keep it to myself. Even with my closest friends that I talk to every day, wouldn't tell them. They would have no clue.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things you do got to keep some things to yourself, and they don't need to know everything, but also it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Not like you don't keep everything to yourself and you don't tell everything. So it kind of goes both ways.
yeah. Man, this money trauma thing is ridiculous.
Oh, I can go down
It's like,
I made so many money mistakes. Like that's why I present my platform in the way that it is, because I want people to feel more normal when dealing with their money mistakes. Like I want people to recognize that it's just a part of your journey. Just because you made a money mistake does not mean that you're no longer going to be successful. It doesn't mean that you're not going to, end up being financially stable. It's just a part of the journey. It's just a part of the journey. And that's literally what it is. That's it.
yeah. And I think I always call it like this message. I got it from Chris Hogan, who was on the Dave Ramsey show before they kicked him off. For
They
stupid
kicked him
reason.
off the show.
Yeah, they kicked him off for Dave Ramsey show because he was like, "You don't represent what we do over here."
Oh,
Yeah, I think he wound up cheating on his wife. But
wow.
because it's such a holy and very religious
Christian, very Christian. Yeah,
Christian
agreed.
base,
That
right?
makes
So
sense.
because he did that, um, they fired him. But
Oh,
also, yeah, they fired him.
okay.
Yes.
So for y'all who
But
are
what
joining,
he
we're
said,
talking about money mistakes and overcoming your money mistakes. So if you have a money mistake that you'd like to talk about, definitely drop it in the chat. Okay, go ahead.
so what he was discussing was, if you've been through the mess, you qualified to be the messenger. And I was
Ooh,
like,
I like that.
I really like that. Because it's like how you and I, nobody can tell us differently, but like, no, this is the way we did it. If you want to follow our path, this is the way you get out of it. Going through the trauma from, having a mountain of debt, how to stay positive about yourself and trusting yourself that you can actually get out of
Mm.
it. And that's a very, like how you said, it's just believing in yourself.
And just
Very
getting out
important.
of
Mhm.
that cycle of being stuck in that debt, and that cycle of just being trapped, and you feel like basically you getting paid and nothing's left consistently. Oh, paycheck after paycheck after pay. That to me is extremely draining. It's
Yeah.
extremely draining, and it's not a lifestyle that I want to lead. So it's like you have to get to that tipping point. And it's like, okay, I made it to my tipping point. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do it. This can't be life, like Jay-Z said. It's got to be more. This can't be us. Okay, so what do we do?
Gotta be
You know,
more.
I'm
I
always
actually
gonna
know
quote
that
some
song.
lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always gonna quote some lyrics.
I know you do. You know, it took me a while because I don't know too many songs.
So I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
We're not gonna tell the people them about
No, please don't. I think we have it recorded somewhere.
we
One of
do.
your
We're not
lives.
gonna tell them. No, we're not gonna tell them about it. But yeah, so it's like you have to get to that point where you decide, like, this is not my life. I was not here or put here just to pay bills. It's more I want, and it's more I want to do. So what am I gonna do about it? And
So
then you
let's
gotta figure out.
talk about it then. So what
Okay,
are
let's
we gonna
talk
do
about
about
it
it?
then.
What
Let's
are we
talk
gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? So
about it.
because we already gave people
We gave the
several
first two
tips on
steps.
how we got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not to reiterate it, but one of the tools.
Feel
Let's talk
free.
about the tools that we did, the free tools, because obviously we ain't had no money. So
Right.
like, we can talk about the free tools that are out there to help us to get through all of this.
Well, see, let's talk about this. When
Okay.
I was dealing with the foreclosure and building my credit to even get my house in the first place, this was before YouTube. Remember, I just said this was 2010 when I bought my house.
Oh,
This was
yeah.
before YouTube. This is before Google and YouTube University. This was with some cold, hard books. Okay, this is some go to the library and wait
Oof.
for them. This was some order and
Can I
go
get
wait
some ad
for
horns for the
mail.
library?
This was some wait for it to come in the mail. Like
Yeah.
long time. With get the highlighter, highlighting through the book, put the points in the book but that's what I had to do. I did what I had to do. I had people give me recommendations at work. That part I was happy to talk about. I'm gonna clear my credit, or I'm gonna fix my credit. Like that part I was happy to talk about. When I start boom, 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 then I wasn't. I was quiet as a mouse. I ain't told nobody nothing. I'm at work every day, smiling. Well, I guess I wasn't at work, but I was out and about, smiling. Nobody would ever know. Talking to me, I'm not telling them a thing.
Right. And you notice the people that usually talk a lot and things, and when they quiet, there's a reason why they quiet, because either something's really going on or they about to come out as a new person.
Right.
Sure.
For me, if I'm quiet, that means I'm around somebody I don't know. Because I'm observing them, and I'm observing their character, and I'm reading them. That's mine.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah, that's my messenger.
Okay.
But yes, and I'm reading them and reading their character. But yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that helped me out, I mean, I know we talked about the mistake parts like college and writing scholarships and stuff like that. I think I really didn't find out about how easy it is to get into scholarships until like my last year of college in my undergrad. And I actually went to the head of the education department because I was getting my undergrad in elementary education. And I was like, hey, driving back and forth to these schools is costly. No other degree has to go to an actual another building and actually provide a service to just get their degree. Now, as an elementary educator, you have to, during your last year, to do 180 hours worth of teaching, which is the amount of hours it is in the whole school semester. Like, just like first grade, third grade or so. But I was teaching during that time frame, 7th grade, 8th grade, first grade, and third grade. So I was teaching a wide range within the city, the county, just to kind of get a feel between the two different schools. But doing so, we had to drive to those places. I had to pay tolls to go to some of these schools. So I had to.
Y'all Northeast tolls is a hot mess, man.
Yeah.
Y'all tolls is ridiculous.
And at the time, it was about $3 to $4 every one way. So I had to get an easy pass. Then I actually had to load it up because I'm going to the school every day instead of going to my college, which was literally 10 minutes away. And so doing so, I actually had to go to the dean of the school and be like, hey, we as educators, we need money to pay for this stuff. We're college students. Can you give us something? So they put us in contact with people. Was the first time they ever granted money to the elementary education department, and they gave us about $1,000 just to kind of start it. And I was like, well, this is the start because it'll take care of all the tolls and everything like that. So the tolls were free. However, I'm not sure where it's at now, but I do plan to go back to actually ask them how is that how is that program going? Because these are the things that you can actually implement as a student that they don't talk about. These are the other expenses of getting these degrees. And these are the other things that we need to start asking for when it comes to money. Like you need to learn how to write your essay. You need to learn how to promote yourself to get these extra funding for the things that you need.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely makes sense. I feel like it's something that I dealt with when it came to my daughter. With my daughter going to college more so than me, you know, when I was going to college, I had my daughter, so it was already an interesting journey. So what do you think would be your next money mistake other than not applying for scholarships?
Will be similar to what Lisa said, investing.
So for those of you again who have joined, I see we got newer people on here. We're talking about overcoming money mistakes. So if you have a money mistake you would like to talk about, feel free, drop it in the chat. Just want to keep you all informed. And also want to let you all know I'm having a webinar July 30th. It's going to be July 30th at 7 p.m. If you want to register for it, it's completely free. It'll be on July 30th. Link is going to be in my bio. Whatever you are watching this, the link will be in my bio there. For Facebook and YouTube, I can put it in the chat. For TikTok, go to my bio, click on the link, and you'll see the thing for the free webinar. But I think for me, in not investing early was also a money mistake of mine. But I don't know if I can classify that as a money mistake of mine. Because I didn't know that I should invest. So how would it be a mistake if I didn't know that I should be investing or that it was important to invest or how to invest or like anything about it? So how would I classify that necessarily as a mistake of mine?
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like mistakes are only done because it's hindsight 2020. During the time of you creating something or doing something, it's never really seen as a mistake. It seemed like, hey, this is the right choice of what I got.
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm really trying to change the word mistake, but also help to understand like really what is a mistake.
Okay, so maybe that's the question. Classifying what do you consider to be a money mistake? And then I'll classify what I consider to be a money mistake.
What I classify as a money mistake is something where I wish that I could have put the money towards something else instead of what I put the money towards at the time that I had it. So that's how I look at it.
What I look at as a money mistake is times that I fumbled my finances. Like a quarterback who gets the ball and instead of throwing it to the receiver, they decide they're going to take the ball themselves, and then they either get sacked or they fumbled it. Like I made the wrong decision, and so I fumbled the ball or the bag.
Or the bag, yeah.
Correct. So that's what I consider to be my money mistakes. I consider that to be my money mistake because it's something that I did that I could have done better.
Gotcha.
That's what I consider like something that I didn't know. I couldn't do it better because I didn't know that I should do it better. I consider that to be, you know, you only know what you know. Right. I guess you could say lessons learned. I wish I would have invested earlier. It's so crazy. You get all these random invitations to go live together.
On TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was on Instagram. Nobody joined. Wait, a couple people came in, but they just came and then went away. So I just stopped the live.
So I've been showing them both views. They've been able to see me talk, and then I've showed them you when you talk. That's why I'm moving around, because I'm moving the camera so they can see both views. So you have to give them variety.
I'll get better at that then.
I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so for me, I think my next money mistake would be, well, first of all, not the whole situation with losing my house and all of that. That wasn't my first money mistake, but that's just the mistake that I end up talking about. But another money mistake I had was driving up all, like spending all that money when I didn't have the money to pay it back, like creating all that debt. I feel like that was another money mistake of mine.
Okay, so it's your first money mistake.
Because the thing is, I did it multiple times. So like I ran it up, paid it off, ran it up. No. I'm lying. I ran it up, filed bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. Because after I lost the house, I needed to file bankruptcy to get the house off my credit.
Right.
So I ran it up again after that because I wasn't looking at my money habits. I was just like, oh, well, the book said that you do this and you do this. And then the book said you do this. But I wasn't looking at, okay, what habits do I have that keep putting me in this damn situation?
Right.
And so paid it down and then ran it up a third time. And it was not until the third time that I ran it up and I think I had $57,000 worth of debt that I've been, minus my student loans.
Jeez.
Minus my student loans.
Jeez.
Yes, and I paid it off, and I actually watched. If you go and look back, at my Instagram, like 2020, maybe 2019, you'll see I posted monthly as I paid it off. Every month I would post as I paid it off. So like I followed my journey as I paid it off. It started. That's how I know it's 57 because I saw the post like, oh wow, I used to say 50, but then I saw the post like, oh, it's 57 because that's before I knew like, oh, you need to, calculate or you need to account and say like, how much debt did you pay off? How long did it take you to pay off? That's before all those stories were going, viral.
Yeah.
So I wasn't calculating. So I was like, oh, I paid off $50,000 in debt, and it's like I saw the post one time going in my history on Instagram. And I said, oh, it's 57. I used to post every month and say, paid off this much debt, this made this many payments every single month. Mm-hmm. Sure did. So that to me is another money mistake.
Let's see. Because running up, I mean, there's so many different mistakes.
It is.
Because I'm trying to think of
conversation. It is so many. Thank you. Say it again. It is so many different money mistakes. So I want it to be more normal to talk about them because everybody makes them.
Yeah, so I can say this. So for me, another one was actually this always happens with me with vehicles. So buying a car. I had a car paid off. I think I only paid like $2,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 87? Yeah, 1987 vehicle. Drove nicely and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But the heater core went out. So it was leaking coolant inside the car.
Ooh.
So I couldn't turn on the heat or anything like that. But one of the things that I found out was that because I was also in a car club, and everybody was like, yeah, you can just bypass the whole heater core. That's what all of us do. And I was like, what you mean? They was like, yeah, the heater cores are bad in these vehicles. And I was like, thanks for letting me know.
Okay,
so
right.
I went on and got a brand new car. Brand new off the lot, meaning like it only had like 14 miles on it when I was driving it. I even test drove it. I put the extra 7 miles on it because I was driving around. So they just gave me the keys. And so I got this vehicle, took it home. I think it was on like a Monday. By Saturday, I found out that I could bypass the heater core. Went to AutoZone for $7. Bought the tube. Came back, fixed the whole vehicle for $7. And I was like, now what I do? I got two vehicles sitting around. And this at the time I already had moved out my mom's place because I was like, I think I was close to being done with college at the time. And then it was like, now like my mom didn't want me put in the backyard. So then it was on the main street because we had one of those main artery streets or whatever that we lived on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it got flagged for like sitting around, and then the people towed it to the auction spot, and I was like, "Can I get my car back?" And they was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be like $500." And I was like, "But you guys towed it, aren't you? Can y'all tow it back?" They was like, "No, you can." I was like, the reason why I haven't been driving it because it needed brakes, and like it was the smallest thing. Like I could have just put brakes on the vehicle, and then I'd have been fine, or got it towed through your. I didn't know that this was a thing or a service that you're the reason why you pay car insurance is that they can tow your vehicle to any mechanic that you need to within like a 3-mile radius or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think 20 up to 20 miles, I believe, is kind of
Mm-hmm.
far. But I really wish I had did that, towed it to the mechanic, put the brakes on, whatever. Obviously, it's pre-YouTube, so it wasn't like I was learning how to put brakes on. But yeah, like that is a money mistake, is buying a new vehicle without doing all of my extensive research
Yeah,
to fix it.
definitely.
Yeah, I get car buying. I'm bad at it. I can tell you that now.
You're not the only one. Like car buying, and especially when you deal with those crazy car salespeople,
Yeah.
car buying can get crazy. It's this lady on TikTok. She educates people on purchasing cars because I guess she used to work at a car lot, so she tells you about a lot of the BS fees that they throw in there.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
tells you things like, don't tell them how much you want to pay for your car note because all they're going to do is go back and fix the paperwork so that it makes it look like the car note you want, but they've still thrown all the fees that they want to throw in there. Oh, thank you, Sierra.
Yeah.
Thank
Sierra, you need to respond to my email so I can send you your book.
Yes, congratulations, Sierra. Because she
Yeah.
won the book. That's who won the book the other day, right?
Yep. She won the book.
I did a giveaway yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
And they won my book. I got to
There
mail
you
it
go.
off. Yeah, I'm going to mail it off tomorrow. Well, it's probably not going to mail till Monday because the post office is going to be closed tomorrow. But yeah, I gave her my book.
Awesome.
I got that idea from you.
Hey.
She got to check her email. Sorry, she had a long day.
Yeah. All right. No worries. No
I think this
worries.
comment belongs on the screen because to see.
You got to uplift, your moves from time to time. It's cool.
But yeah, so what was I gonna say? What other money mistake did I make I feel is important? Spending money on stuff that I ain't got no business spending money on.
Ooh, I got one then. Because we were talking about money mistakes, and one of the things that's a life lesson that taught me as far as education. I mean, not education, but my work life. And one of the things is that I undersold myself when I was applying for a job. So
we do that
on
a lot.
my first job, and not my first job, but like my first like real job, I would call it, working at Geek Squad. So they had it like
You used to work at Geek Squad?
For 6 years.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Got the tie pin, the shoes, and all that fun stuff, but yeah, clip on tie and everything. But yeah, with the what happened was that they were going in for interviews, and I already knew about it, so using my network. So I know how to use my network. Got the interview. Got to the interview, and it was like at the end of it, it was like, so how much should we how much do you want to get paid for? Like for per hour. At the time, back in early, was it 2000s? It was like, I was like, oh, I got a job just making $750 as a supervisor. So started off, I was making like $525 because that was the minimum wage. So I got the $725 after like 2 years working, finally get my little extra $2. And then I was like, well, I want $10. And they was like, okay. Right. Sure. Shook hands on it.
Hell yeah. Not a problem. We'll sign you up. Hurry up. Sign right here.
So after he took my hand, he was like, yo, you gotta you could have charged easily $14 with the expertise. And I was like, wow, this sucks.
He said you got to know your numbers when it comes to applying for jobs. Lots of hard-earned lessons come with that.
Yes. And so ever since then, I've been changing jobs for every 2 years to get my money.
Just about to say that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just about to say the same thing. I'm happy that you said that because that's something that we, like the younger generation, they know that.
Right.
They're not staying at one job for 25 years. That's not happening. I think that we automatically have like this imposter syndrome. We have, we don't know our worth. We show up doing so much and doing such great things. But when it comes down to actually negotiating our salary or challenging, and I think that also goes back to when we were younger, we were taught not to challenge authority. We were taught not to question authority.
Right.
We were raised when the teacher tell you to say do something, you do what the teacher told you to do.
Yep.
You better not say nothing back because you better do what the teacher told you to do.
You get a bag of this remote,
baby. I bet not hear that your teacher said that you wasn't listening in class. So we automatically had that ingrained in us that you don't question authority. So if they tell you that you get paid this much, we don't second guess it, or we don't, combat it or rebut it. And then when it comes to that, like when it's like they asking you how much you should get paid, we got to research. Like he said, we got to research to the position first and see. Back in the day, maybe there weren't as many resources available for us to do it. Now we can go on Glassdoor. We have options of where we can go to get the idea of what that salary should be. But previously we didn't. So we don't have people around us that we can talk to say, well, how much should this, get paid? We don't have that network, and we don't have the wherewithal to make sure we're researching that before. And it's something that we had to learn when we got older. There's no way for us to have known that before. But I think that's definitely a big one. Yes.
Because I did ask the guy that actually worked there before I did. And he was saying, like, they usually do about $10 for the regular employees, and I think it was like $12 for the supervisors, and then $14 for what they call them, the mobile techs. So they'll go out in the cars and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they saw more, like the person could have still gave me more, even though I said 10.
They could have, but in reality, we know that they are not, because they're going to be seen by the company as saving the company money.
Right.
And in some cases, the money they don't give you might be going to them in a bonus. So, like, let's be real. They unfortunately not going to advocate for you like that. You might find, if you do find somebody, like, truly appreciate them. But that's something I've definitely learned more so now, that before I would have never negotiated my salary. It just would have told me the salary. I would have said, okay. None the wiser.
Yeah.
I would quit the job first before I would negotiate. No,
really?
Seriously, I used to work at this place called Superior. Well, I guess I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to go through the full name. Mm-hmm. But I used to work at this company, and I was like an insurance account representative or whatever. So basically, whenever they had a patient, I'm not going to say what kind of patients or what we did with the patients, but whenever they had a patient, if they was going through the insurance, I would help facilitate that process. If there was any issues, anything required, anything like that. And so it was like this program. I didn't have a job, but I had this program. You go, and you know how they have like those community programs, free job training, come for this. And so I came to the program for this one position, but when they saw my resume, they was like, oh, wait, hold on. We want you to come work and be an account, an insurance representative. Like, we don't want you to do that. We want you to come do this. But they have the knowledge that I was already willing to do the pay of that, even though the job they were putting me in was higher than the job that I was coming to, apprentice or go through the training program for. They knew I was qualified for the other position, but they did not pay me. So it took me, I was probably there for about maybe, I'm going to say I was there for maybe close to a year before I like got cool enough with other people where we were having conversations and found out I was getting paid like $3 less than the person sitting next to me.
Bro.
And we looked the same. So it wasn't nothing to do with any type of racial anything.
Right.
It was literally like, oh, we know she was already willing to work for that lower amount. So we're gonna put her in this role, but for that same lower amount, and she'll be none the wiser. And you know what I did? I quit.
I had to do the same thing. Yo, we can go back and forth on these things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just so many times that the things happen. That's why I'm saying overcoming money mistakes. It's just so many instances. It's gonna be. We could talk about this for 3 more hours and still bring up 15 more money mistakes that we made. None of that changes where I am right now, and that's why I want to have these conversations more often to make people be okay with having money mistakes.
Yeah. So I mean, we're still gonna ask the people. So what are your money mistakes that you feel that after hearing our money mistakes? What are you guys money mistakes? Nia, if it's okay, I can open up my phone lines if you
want to sure, absolutely. Positively.
Yeah. So if anybody want to call in to us and actually share their story.
Can you share you can't share your banner, can you?
No, but I did put the phone number in the back end. So it's 833-699-2558 if anybody want to call in to share their money mistakes. That's right. Yeah, you got the people on TikTok too.
I do.
The TikTok.
If you all want to, let me go tell them.
All right.
If you all want to call in and talk to us, you can call 833-699-2558, and you can call in and talk to us, and we can talk about your money mistakes. And we're just having a conversation, sharing the different money mistakes we've made, the things we've experienced, how we overcame those money mistakes, how we dealt with them, or how we didn't deal with them and should have dealt with them in my case. And it's just realizing that there are so many different mistakes that have been made. And if you're interested, we're over on YouTube. So you can go over to my YouTube channel if you want to be able to see the different view that I keep showing. But if you want to call in, it's 833-699-2558.
Yep. So while you're sharing that, because one of the things that happened, I think a lot of us have this issue as well, which is barriers. And one of the things I had to get over is to when I'm giving away money, just to give it away and not to expect it back. Because my expectation was like, oh, okay, they have their best interest. They want to pay it back. They don't pay that back.
They don't. And they have no interest. And a lot of times their actions, like they might not come out and tell you, but their actions will tell you. They have no intentions on paying it back. They don't feel like they owe you to pay it back. I have definitely experienced that many a time. Many a time I have experienced that.
Yeah, because I think one time I had one of my buddies, like I think I gave him $500. But when I found out that $500 is the threshold to take somebody to court, I was like, cool, I need a photo with you and the check. I need a photo. Like I handed him the check, took the photo like with him right there, hold it front face and side face. I was like, you go to jail.
Not a mugshot.
I sure did. Give a full mugshot with that check. Plus, had him sign in the like an agreement that say like, hey, he's going to pay this back. Plus, he was going to give me a CD changer, a Tenda CD changer, and remember the radios that you're able to take out,
the 8-track
face plates. No, not the.
With the face plate.
Yeah,
yes.
The CD changer with the face plates you had to take off.
Yes.
So he was supposed to give me back $200 plus that, and the subwoofer he threw in, like an amp that he threw in there too. So I was like, all right, cool. So that was our agreement. He gave me the $200 plus the equipment, and that was in my car. So that was how we worked it out. And I was like, cool, everything paid in full. I gave him back the contract that we agreed and said it was paid in full. That was it. So, but after that, I figured it was a lot. So I stopped doing that. At this point now, it's like, you know what? I know y'all ain't gonna pay it back. So
Me, I've gotten burned from people living with me and supposing to pay me. Supposed to pay me obviously as a part of the agreement of them living with me, and then me getting stiffed on the money that I owed. Yeah. That happened to me twice. Mm-hmm.
Twice? Like what? How did it happen the second time?
Three. Different people. They're not the same people.
Got you.
It's 3 different people.
Yeah. So now do you just give away money, or you just kind of like,
now nobody will stay with me. I stay by myself.
Got that.
If you stay with me, it's through Airbnb. Which means that you're not staying with me. I'm just using for Airbnb.
As a third party. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not, you just can't stay with me. Mm-mm.
Oh, so you charge them, you set it up in Airbnb and they pay every.
No, I don't rent to people. I know. I do
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the only way you stay. Yeah. I just don't, because every time I've done it, I've gotten burned. Literally every single time.
Yeah. I mean, but all these lessons have taught us
a lot. Taught me a lot. Absolutely.
About people. And now I'm starting to see why they put warnings on everything.
They do need to put a warning.
Yeah. Like a warning before you actually, come over to do anything. Because as a business for both of us, like we have to set up so many barriers on the back end before we even advertise it. Like, for like how you have your group that you're trying to set up for your webinar, you got this whole slew of stuff that is, if I'm not mistaken, years of content that you've condensed for this webinar. Mm-hmm. And so like you've built all of this up so that it can build those barriers, and also the questions that people are going to have, the issues that people more than likely will come across, and actually test it out through so many different variables and variations so that somebody can have a good experience with the live. And so, and make sure that they can get the best out of that situation. So, but yeah, that's crazy. But that's the reason why I think we just need labels on everything. Like, just keep it easy.
I wish we could put labels on people.
Right. What would your label say?
My label say for me?
Yeah.
Or the label? I'm talking about like other people have labels, so I know they have labels when I go to talk to them or deal with them. I'm saying. Gotcha. What would my label say?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't do people dirty, so it wouldn't be like a beware type label. It might be beware what comes out her mouth. That might be a label that mine says, because I've been told I say some things, interesting things out of my mouth. But other than that, yeah. But we're at an hour, y'all. So,
oh wow, it's an hour already.
Correct. It's been an hour. That fast. So we're going to wrap it up. If you have any additional questions, it doesn't look like I see people. It was people on here. I got one person still here on TikTok. If you got questions, let me know. Drop them in the chat, because we're about to get off of here. I'm going to go. Oh, somebody just see. Who is that? That's on your channel, on your YouTube. But yeah, so drop your questions. Any last questions you have, drop them in the chat. Let me know, because we're about to get out of here. It's been a full hour. I'm going to try to see if I have time to go live tomorrow. I probably should have time to go live tomorrow, but I'm trying to go live consistently up into my webinar.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I've been getting a lot of questions. Like a lot of people want to know if it's a replay, if there'll be a replay, and it will, but you just got to register for it. And then I'm trying to continue to get the message out there that the webinar is happening.
So where can they register at?
So if you type Money Moves in the chat, then I'll drop the link, or I can just put the link in the chat. I can send it to you. Hold on.
To your love, you got to hold on. Yeah, that's the reason why I don't do karaoke.
Why?
Because I can't sing.
I can't sing either.
Oh, you got a Bitly
Of course, I got a Bitly.
to sign it.
You don't have a Bitly?
Nope.
Huh. I have a lot of links, bro.
See.
I have a lot of links.
Yeah, I got the because one of the things I'm working on is, like I was just telling you on the pre-recording on the back end, was trying to get this this luggage. That's what I want to get. Hopefully it's not a money mistake.
You got to buy it in bulk?
No. I just got to do one off.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like
You just
170.
use it for yourself.
It's 177 for it, but I'm like,
177?
For carry-on luggage.
So you can't just buy a
you can't buy some stickers and put it on.
no. No. I wasn't gonna say stickers. I was gonna say you can't buy an airport cover. I mean a luggage cover.
Oh, I didn't even thought about those.
Why don't you get a luggage cover instead of buying a custom luggage? Get a luggage cover that goes over your luggage.
Luggage. I didn't even know those existed.
Custom luggage cover. Okay, look now. I send you an invoice for the amount of money I just said. See, I do this.
Okay, so how much are these luggage?
They
it's only $10.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be cheaper than $177.
Well, let me see if I can get a printed one.
And they get custom ones all the time because people make jokes and they put funny custom.
Right, I seen those on Instagram. Yeah.
Correct, exactly. So just get you one of them.
Yeah.
177. Man, please. You can send
it's
me
only like $15 at on Amazon. Hey, so what? You worth $150?
I'm worth more. I'm worth more.
Okay. I was only gonna get one for me. Like
I know, but still,
you are worth more. Yes,
$177.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. But I didn't
think about the cover. Don't do that no more. Don't look at it no more.
All right, I need to use my network. All right.
See, look at that.
Right.
Lesson.
$1,000. Right. So if you guys got these questions, like I do, random questions, go ahead on and please hit us up.
Yeah, because we're about to jump off here.
Yes.
Your girl is tired. You can see it in my eyes. I'm tired.
Right.
Some bags. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and for my call to action, make sure you guys follow me at About That Wallet on all social media platforms. You can follow me at aboutthatwallet.com. Sign up for my newsletter. I am working on it. It has tons of information in there. I'm doing grants this time. I'm doing scholarships as well because schools are coming up.
Email newsletter. So if you don't know who he is on here, his name is About That Wallet. You can find him on YouTube, aboutthatwallet.com, and literally spelled exactly like that. About That Wallet. Like, let's talk about that wallet.
There we go. And also, like with that, I'm putting in like your money tips, ChatGPT prompts. You're getting surveys to make money. So you're making money by filling out these surveys. You don't have to go nowhere. You can just sit on your computer and just fill them out while you're watching TV or something.
I need to
get paid. Yeah. I did a couple of them.
Focus groups, but the focus groups, they don't ever pick me.
They never picked me either. They was like, you missed out the demographic. So that's why I picked up the survey. So I'm through Survey Junkie. So that's what I'm using. Just to make some money on the side. It's like quick, easy money. Yeah, so I have all that in there. So
I haven't seen any questions, so I'm going to hop off of here.
Yep.
It's been great. You all have been fabulous. Bye for now.
All right. You got outro music?
Not on TikTok.
All right. What on
wow, she was on there for 46 minutes.
All right.
Okay. All right, y'all. We will catch you all next time on the next video. We'll see you next time.